MBA 的就业市场前景是许多商业管理学硕士班新生和准毕业生非常关心的问题。许多学生选择商学院拿 MBA 学位，为的也是在毕业之后能够获得一份高薪的工作。不过，在全球金融危机的冲击下，工作越来越难找。MBA 毕业生的失业率是不是也有攀升的趋势呢？本周的真相面对面，我们特别专访到 California State University Los Angeles College of Business and Economics， 也就是美国加州州立大学洛杉矶分校商学院的院长 Dr. James Goodrich， 来为我们分析 MBA 学生的就业前景和方向，同时提供建议给正在就读 MBA program 的学生，如何在众多优秀 MBA 学生中脱颖而出，成为精英中的佼佼者。来看以下的专题报道。
Well, the MBA job market has suffered for the last 3 years. It's only this year, really, that it's picking up. For the first time, companies, especially financial companies and others that typically hire MBA graduates, consulting firms, have started hiring again. We're now seeing a pickup in that, and I think probably we're also seeing a little bit of a pickup in our more specialized MS programs in healthcare and in accounting, because in those particular professions, there's more and more of a need of people with professions with a master's degree.
Can you be more specific of what types of company will be looking for an MBA graduates as their candidates?
Right. Primarily in this region, you have 3 or 4 different kinds of companies. You've got your larger manufacturing companies, you know, the Amgen, the Northrop Grumman, Rockwell International, Boeing, and you have a mid-size or service-type companies, of which there's literally hundreds now that there aren't very many Fortune 500 companies. The economy of LA is dominated by mid-size companies. Mid-size companies want an MBA. They want a well-rounded person who understands the entire enterprise, not a specialist, and they want someone that can hit the ground running, that truly understands all of the aspects of running and financing a business. That's the company that's typically going to be hiring an MBA.
What advice will you give to the will-be graduates of MBA programs to get ready for the job market?
Well, there's 3 things that I try to tell all of our graduate students. First of all, remember, you're one of hundreds of thousands. There's over 150,000 people that are going to be getting an MBA this year that are going to be graduating just in the United States and Canada alone, and that's not counting all the other programs throughout the world. So you have to do something to distinguish yourself from these other graduates. It's very, very important. Second of all, practice your interviewing skills. A lot of times students get caught up in what they need to do to graduate, but I think it's very important for them to understand that if you really want to use your degree and go further, you have to think about how you present yourself. Third of all is half our students are working already anyway, so most of them are getting their employer to help pay part of the tab. And in those cases, I ask them to go back, really talk to their employer seriously about their future career with that company so that they can leverage their degree to get a promotion.
What about international students? What kind of programs or what kind of job outlook do you have for international students?
Well, the outlook has never been better for international students. In the first place, there's an ever higher percentage of international students in MBA programs throughout this country, and particularly in places like Los Angeles and other larger urban areas. We get a lot of students from China and India. I think that they all have, almost all of them will have a choice, especially if they're bicultural and bilingual. They could stay here, or they can go to work for a multinational company in a different location, or they can go back to India or China, in many cases make more money or just as much money and live probably better in terms of the cost of living in those countries. So they all have very, very good opportunities. It's also very competitive, though, and I think students really need to work harder to make sure that just because they graduate with a degree, they understand that they really need to cast a wider net. If they're planning on this, they need to be planning for it now. If they're planning on going back to their country, if they're planning on staying here and get sponsored, or if they want to go to work for a multinational company and go to some third location, that needs to be part of their plans.
下周的真相面对面，我们将带您来了解连续多年被 U.S. News and World Report 评为全美100所最优秀的商学院之一的美国加州州立大学洛杉矶分校商科院校。